You ever wonder why some apps just become a part of your daily life while others, well, you delete them after a week? It's not magic and it's definitely not luck. There is a real science behind it. So let's get into the engine that makes the best digital products not just launch, but actually last. And the usual answers you hear, oh, it was a bad idea, or they didn't have enough marketing budget, that's usually not the real story. The real reason is almost always hiding somewhere in the user's experience itself. So let's just bust a huge myth right off the bat. So many people think that success is just about getting more and more users. But here's the thing. If you can't actually deliver value and make those users stick around, all you've got is a leaky bucket. You can keep pouring users in the top, but they're just going to drain right out the bottom. The real win is plugging the holes by creating something people genuinely value. Okay, so how do you find those leaks and plug them? Well, you need a map. You need a framework that lets you systematically look at every single step a user takes and figure out how to make it better. And that map is called the AARRR framework. Yeah, people call it pirate metrics because it sounds like R. It was created by the investor Dave McClure, and honestly, it is the foundation of product growth analytics. It gives product managers this super clear path to find and fix all those little friction points that make people leave. Let's just walk through the 5 steps real quick. First step is acquisition. That's just how do people find you? Then activation. This is the magic moment where they really get what your product is all about. Next is retention, the absolute key. Do they come back? And then finally, you've got revenue and referral. They pay for your product and they love it so much they tell their friends. But here's the thing. Of all those stages, one of them is way, way more important than the others, and that's activation. That very first time a user experiences the core value of your app, that aha moment, that is the single most important milestone. If you don't get them to that point, they are almost certainly never coming back. So what does an aha moment actually look like? It's not some abstract idea, it's a real action. For Spotify, it's the moment you listen to that first full song and realize you have all the world's music. For Slack, it's sending that first message to your team. For Dropbox, it's uploading that first file and seeing it sync. It's the moment the product's promise becomes totally real for you. And once you get a user to that aha moment, it leads you straight to the most powerful growth lever in the entire business, retention. There's this quote that just hits the nail on the head. If users don't return, you don't have a product, you have a trial. I mean, just let that sink in. It says it all, right? A real product is defined by its ability to bring people back again and again. Without that, it's just a temporary experience. And look, this isn't just about feelings or guesswork. This is a hard science. The teams that do this for a living, they are obsessed with data. They're tracking things like see how sticky the app is, the churn rate to see how many people they're losing, and even expansion revenue, which shows if your current customers are actually paying you more over time. But thinking about this whole process as just a simple one-way funnel, it's a little bit old school now. The top companies today have evolved their thinking to a much more powerful model. They've moved from funnels to flywheels. Why? Because the fundamental flaw of a funnel is it always leaks. It just does. You're always going to be losing people at every single step of the way. So the modern approach is something called product-led growth, or PLG. The core philosophy here is that the product itself becomes the main engine for growth. It's so valuable and so easy to share that it basically does its own marketing. And you've seen this in action a million times, probably without even realizing it. Think about Slack. To get any value out of it, you have to invite your teammates. Or Zoom. Every time someone sends you a Zoom link for a meeting, they are marketing Zoom to you. It's not a campaign, it's just how the product is designed to work. Growth is baked right into the experience. This is how you build a much better system. Instead of that leaky funnel, PLG creates what's called a growth loop. It's the self-reinforcing cycle where the actions of your current users naturally bring in new users. One person uses it, they invite 10 others, and some of them invite 10 more. It creates this compounding, sustainable growth that an old-school marketing funnel just can't compete with. So if retention and these growth loops are the name of the game, how do you actually build a product that makes people want to come back? How do you engineer that engagement? Well, let's look at an absolute masterclass, Duolingo. Get this, over 40% of their users come back every single day. That number is just insane for any consumer app. Think about how hard that is to pull off. So, what's their secret sauce? They have perfected the art of gamified retention. They use all these little tricks from behavioral psychology, streaks to help you build a daily habit, progress bars to keep you motivated, and XP rewards to give you that little hit of positive feedback. Every single feature is meticulously designed to make you want to come back tomorrow. At the end of the day, growth isn't about random tactics or trying out some marketing hacks. It is a systematic discipline that is owned by the product team. Just like the saying goes, growth is everyone's job, but product owns the engine. It's their job to build that engine and keep it finely tuned. And how do they tune it? Well, they come up with a hypothesis like, hey, I bet if we make this sign up button green, more people will click it. Then they run an A/B test, they measure the data obsessively, and they either implement the winning version or they try something new. It's just a constant cycle of learning and getting better. All right, so let's pull all of this together. If you walk away with nothing else, remember these 4 things. First, real growth comes from creating value, not just chasing new users. Second, use that AARRR framework as your map. Third, focus on retention. It's where you'll get the biggest bang for your buck. And finally, think in loops, not funnels. So I'll leave you with a little bit of homework. Pick an app you use every single day, your favorite one. Can you actually identify its core growth loop? How does the way you use it help bring in the next person? I promise, once you start seeing these loops everywhere, you will never look at software the same way again.